Jungle.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, friends. Welcome back to Football Gupshup, Football Manager 24, Season 24-25, Manchester United. Please do subscribe to the channel, give a like as well. So let's begin today's episode number 2. Can't wait for this one. So guys, as you've seen in the first episode, we played the first game, we set up our tactics as well as we got some of our playing personnel. We had the first look and apparently we lost that first game against Crystal Palace. So hopefully we'll come up good against Wolves. So we need to see how can we change a little bit of this team right now, because if you have a current look at the squad, we haven't got a fit left back, and that is something quite worrying. So looking at the squad right now, we were forced to play Lisandro Martinez in that left back position. I mean, I could have played Dalot as well in that left back position, but I think that the best thing would be is to get a proper left back, and for that reason we have apparently sent some scouts out to see what kind of left backs are we targeting. So these are the current players that we are looking at, and right now, as you can see on your screen, we have got the likes of Doughty, who plays for Luton, then we got Robinson from Fulham, and then we got Rico Henry from Brentford as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at these three, compare them with each other and see which would be the best proposition. So looking at Rico Henry, let's compare him with let me compare him with Robinson, and that is what we're going to do. There you go, Rico Henry and Robinson. So looking at Robinson, who's in green, whereas Rico Henry is in blue. Now as you can see that in terms of pros and cons, you can see that Rico Henry is much better than Robinson. Looking at the ages, it's almost the same age. I think it's just a matter of a month. I think that Rico Henry is older than Robinson, so nothing much in regards to that. Now while I was looking at the squad, I found out that we have got less homegrown players, so we need to have a look at that as well. So in that regard, I think Rico Henry might be the best proposition from Robinson. But what we're going to do is, we can see that Robinson will cost us a little bit less. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a proper stats at this comparison, and you can see defending is 12 and 13, physical 14-13, speed 17-16. So that means Robinson is quite speedy than Rico Henry. In terms of vision, it's Henry who has got better vision. In terms of attacking, it is Henry. Technically, Henry is far much better mentally defending. So you could say nothing much of a difference. In terms of weight, Henry is lighter than Robinson. In terms of height, Rico Henry is 5'7" and Robinson is 6. We're going to have a look at the attributes. Now what we're looking for is looking at the crossing ability, and it looks like Rico Henry is better than Robinson. In terms of dribbling, it looks like Robinson has got the better potential. In terms of finishing, Rico Henry has got a good shot. First touch is better as well. Looking at the heading, it is Rico Henry. In terms of long shots, it's Henry. Looking at the passing, he's better as well. And when you have a look on all these stats, you can see that it's basically a case of where Robinson stands out from Rico Henry is in the department of strength, stamina and pace, as well as jumping reach and acceleration. So if we are kind of looking in those kind of areas, then I think Robinson would be better. But in terms of salary as well, you can see Rico Henry is just earning 2.4 million, whereas Robinson is earning 3.24. And in terms of statistics, it's pretty much that tackle completion ratio is 100% for Rico Henry, 9 miles that they covered for in regards to distance. Pass completion ratio, it is Robinson who completed his pass as well. and key passes per 90 minutes was 1 each. Looking at position and roles, both can play as a left back, both can play as a wide left back. You can see that it is Rico Henry who would play in that attacking left kind of department as well, but 50 million is going to be way too costly. I mean, we need to get rid of Malaysia, we need to get rid of Luke Shaw as well, and I mean, we do need a homegrown player as well. So I have got another player in mind which would cost us less. So I think what we're going to do is, instead of Robinson, we'll go with Rico Henry, and then we'll compare Rico Henry with Doughty. So that is what we're going to do. So there it is. We're going to compare him with Rico Henry. So because we want a homegrown player, and out of these two, we'll see who we're going to go for. So looking at this, Rico Henry is better in all of the departments from Doughty in terms of defending, physical, speed, vision, and technical ability, in attacking, mental ability as well. Now let's have a look in terms of attributes. Is Rico Henry, who's outstanding in every department, but then you look at statistics and goals per 90 minutes, it is Elfie Doughty. Assists per 90 minutes, it is Elfie Doughty. Key passes per 90 minutes, it is Elfie Doughty, and we need a player who could give us that kind of like ability where they are really helpful. And looking at average rating, looking at that 7.55, even though he's playing in I think in championship or winger, he can play as a winger as well, he can play as an inverted winger, so he's got much more ability. He can play in the right back position as well, so very strong left foot, then he got a weak right foot, so almost similar to that. And looking at Elfie Doughty, he's not much further away from Rico Henry. Now looking at the salary for Elfie Doughty, he's 1.42 million, whereas Rico Henry would cost us between 2.4 million. And then having a look in regards to counts towards minimum squad registration rule, so that is what we need, count towards minimum squad registration rule: domestic, versatility, crossing speed, balance, and club vision objectives. Heading, very one-footed, big matches, he is not a big match player. Very one-footed, jumping international experience, he hasn't got anything. Agent could demand a comparatively high agent fee. And pace, speed, consistency, almost same thing as Doughty has it. Big matches, resolute, consistency. Right, now in terms of potential ability, Doughty has got almost 3.5 stars, whereas similar to looking at Rico Henry, I think he is at his maximum. Now I think if you look at Doughty, he would cost us between 10.5 to 15.5 million, and I think that would be a best thing to do instead of Rico Henry, who would cost us fortune. And I think United need to make sure that they don't spend that much. So let's see, I think best would be is to go with Elfie Doughty. So that is what we're going to do. Right, so we are going to bid for Elfie Doughty. Let's go to Elfie Doughty, and he's 23 years of age, quite younger than Rico Henry and Robinson. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to make a bid for him. Let's ask his agent about the availability. What can I do for you? We are very keen on signing Elfie Doughty and want to know what it will take to get a deal done. I'm delighted to hear you're very keen on Elfie. He's incredibly interested in the move to Manchester United because of mutual interest. Right, 10.5 and 16 million. Right, okay. He would want a salary between 3.5 and 4.37, which is okay. We want a contract until 2027. We can go for that. We'll use him in the preferred position as we're doing a rule. We're going to play him as a left back for places. Right, okay. We're going to go for that. Now, in terms of right, okay, let's make an offer and let's see if Luton are going to be happy with our offer. We're going to offer them 15 million and see if they agree with this. 15.25 suggest terms, and apparently they agree, it's acceptable and are pleased with such swift negotiations. Finalize the offer to continue. Okay, we're going to finalize this offer and we're getting a left back now, guys. That is what we're going to do. We have got a left back, and now moving on to the next, we'll have a quick look at our squad right now and see where do we lack. I mean, Ogate and Casemiro wasn't working for me, and for some reason I think we need to get a better player than Casemiro. I mean, no disregard, in real life he hasn't been that good, and I think it's time to replace Casemiro. He has played 2 seasons I think for United, and I don't think so he's good enough. Now if we can manage to sell him, I mean, looking at the wages, 22.84 million, I don't think so we'll be able to buy to get a buyer for him. I mean, looking at this wages, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to move him. Saudi Arabia could be one aspect. Maybe we could put him on sale and see what we can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to change his transfer status and we're going to put him on list. It might be difficult finding suitable persuade to accept. Now we're going to ask him to see if he can right. It hasn't resulted in a good conversation, but anyway, Casemiro will leave and we're gonna PSG would be willing to make an offer, and I believe I can bring to table one or more to offer worth around 69 million for my client in the current transfer market, and I would be really happy if we can get a little bit more, maybe around 74 million, and if we can get that, then we can get a replacement. So that's done then. Looking at other players which I want to sell, I'm gonna go and see with Maguire and see if we can get a move. We have transfer listed him, wanted by Chelsea and Tottenham, so let's go and see what we can do. Ask his Tottenham Hotspur would be willing to make an offer, so clearly anxious to get the ball rolling, worth around 26 million for my client. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna make sure that Harry Maguire leaves the club. Now there is another player which I think we should get rid of as well, Victor Lindelof. I mean, I think he is at the last year of contract, so we're gonna discuss. Right, there is nobody interested in him, but let's see if somebody would come in with a position. So let's see if that'll be the case. So anyway, we've got 3 players who are transfer listed. Would want to get rid of Eriksen as well, and I mean, it's something that I was looking at, and I think that we need a better player than Christian Eriksen, and he's got this attribute where he's a very good deep line playmaker, advanced playmaker as well, central midfielder. He's a Mazzala as well. I mean, we'll come back to that, and I was just wondering if we should sell him as well, because we need to really change our midfield. We've only got Kobe Mainoo, Mason Mount, and then we got Ogate. We need to bring in 2 new midfielders at least one at least. So let's see, maybe we'll keep Eriksen and see where does it goes from there. In terms of defense, we got De Ligt, we got Martinez, we got Euro, and if we're able to sell Maguire or Lindelof, then what we can do is we can go for another centre back, but that's a case of if we are able to sell those 2, so we'll look at that later. And then I was going through another thing which was kind of a surprising thing, but I'll come back to that a little bit later in the further episodes. I'm just sending out scouts just to feel that who should we get, and hopefully we'll find out more about it. Now in terms of formation as well as in detail, what we're looking in terms of tactics is this, that we want to approach play in this manner, that we want to use wing and we want to use wingers. We need to use players such as Garnacho and Amad Diallo, who could really create havoc and make sure that they are really threatening on those wings, and we need to put those balls into the box, and we need to make sure that we run at defense all the times, be more expressive. And then in terms of when it comes to in transition, this is what we're looking for. This is basically what we're trying to do, counter press, and then once again go on counter attack. distribute it quickly, taking short kicks. And when we are without the ball, this is what our defensive shape should be. Lower defensive line, higher press line of engagement. The front players are going to high press, and the players who are defending are going to go a little bit low on the line because we haven't got a good goalkeeper. And maybe we'll address the goalkeeping situation next season. So that is what we're looking at. We might have to make do with Onana if something happens crazy on the transfer deadline day. So we'll see and make sure that if it's the case. So once again, guys, I would like to say a big thanks for watching this second episode. I know it's a short one, but for sure in the next one we will get Elfie Doughty, and then we'll see if we get any transfer bids for our transfer list players. And I'm sure that you would love today's episode. So please do subscribe. Please do give a like as well. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice one. Take care. Bye-bye.